It happened on the 1900 block of Kniff Street. Cummings had been released from prison earlier in 2023. In December 2005, she was sentenced to life without parole for murdering her boyfriend.
It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, let's take it to Flint, Michigan to discuss the case of LaDonna Renee Cummings and Terrence T. Saines and their tumultuous relationship that led to tragedy. Before we get into this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony 2 Times family. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, this video is sponsored by me, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and my YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out and support me. I'll leave the link to it in the description box. And be sure to share this video with everyone you know. Stay tuned until the end to hear all the details. All right, let's get into it. Flint, Michigan, a city built on resilience and haunted by tragedy. On July 13th, 2005, a fatal shooting would fracture two families forever. One man gone, one woman imprisoned, 3 children left in the aftermath. This is the story of Terrence T. Saines and LaDonna Renee Cummings. A love turned volatile, a life sentence granted, and later revoked. But the ending, no one could have seen coming. Terrence Troy Saines, better known as T. Saines, was born December 4th, 1970. The oldest of 3 boys and 1 girl, he grew up in Flint surrounded by family, faith, music, and sports. He attended Flint Community Schools and was a proud member of the Flint Northwestern High School class of 1988. Marching band, football, baseball, he did it all. After high school, he enrolled at the University of Akron, majoring in interior design, a creative soul with a strong work ethic. But he eventually found his passion back home as a barber. He helped start the Fade King Barbershop and became a fixture in the community. To his brothers, he was more than a sibling. He was a best friend. Terrence was a man who made people laugh. He could cook up a storm, host the best barbecues, and was fiercely protective of his loved ones, especially his 3 children who were his pride and joy. Terrence was an upstanding guy who raised his longtime girlfriend LaDonna's daughter as his own, and the couple then went on to have a daughter and a son together. LaDonna Renee Cummings was just as ambitious. She earned her Bachelor of Science from the University of Michigan in 2004. The mother of 3 worked tirelessly, supported her family, and eventually bought her own home. To many, she was the definition of strength and sacrifice. But beneath that strength was a different kind of struggle, one that simmered behind closed doors. LaDonna and Terrence's relationship spanned 13 years on and off. And according to LaDonna, much of that time was marred by volatile physical contact. July 13th, 2005. LaDonna called it a typical argument fueled by alcohol and years of unresolved trauma. But this time, the argument ended with 4 bullets. 34-year-old Terrence Haynes was hit in the back 3 times and once in the arm. He succumbed to his injuries at Hurley Medical Center. LaDonna was arrested the same day. LaDonna told police her and Terrence were fighting and that a gun had fallen from Terrence's waistband. She grabbed it first and later testified, "I just fired until there was nothing left." but prosecutors pointed to something else. They painted a picture of LaDonna luring Terrence to his demise. A conversation allegedly had with Terrence's mother just days before, LaDonna told her, "Buy a black dress, you're going to a funeral," which Terrence's mother testified to in court. LaDonna claimed the statement wasn't true. Another witness testified they were on the phone with Terrence when he begged for his life. LaDonna's claims of self-defense were dismissed by the jury. On December 12, 2005, 32-year-old LaDonna was convicted of premeditated first-degree hit. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For over 15 years, LaDonna lived in prison, anticipating to spend the rest of her life there. But advocates for survivors of DV began to take notice. They believed her story was one of desperation, not malice. One of survival, not premeditation. In October 2022, at the age of 49, LaDonna sat before the Michigan Parole Board. She claimed she was no longer the same woman who pulled the trigger that night. LaDonna told the parole board, "I acknowledge what I did. I can say what I did. I can tell the person exactly what I did and why it would not happen again." After reviewing the case, the governor of Michigan granted clemency. And in March 2023, LaDonna Cummings walked free after almost 18 years. But the story didn't end there. December 28, 2023, just months after her release, Flint police responded to a drive-by shooting. LaDonna Cummings was found hit multiple times inside a home. She was rushed to Hurley Medical Center, the same hospital where Terrence had passed away years earlier. She was pronounced gone shortly after arrival. She was 50 years old, still on parole, and once again surrounded by questions. LaDonna's daughter, Lati, says although Terrence wasn't her biological father, he was her dad. And now she's lost both parents. But Terrence's family still feels justice was never served. His mother told the parole board she could have walked away, but instead she took my baby away. Others call LaDonna a manipulator, a liar. They say Terrence was not the man to put his hands on a woman. He was just a man trying to keep his family together. Today, their children live in the shadow of two tragedies, a cycle of unfortunate events that stole nearly everything from them. LaDonna Cummings' slaying remains unsolved. Some believe it was revenge, others mistaken identity. Flint police say she may not have even been the intended target. Crime Stoppers of Flint and Genesee County is offering a $2,500 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Some stories have no heroes. Some endings offer no closure. But in remembering both Terrence and LaDonna, we remember the cost of love, the weight of anger and trauma, and the lives caught in between. May Terrence T. Sains rest in peace, and may LaDonna rest in peace. My thoughts and well wishes go out to the families and everyone impacted by these heartbreaking tragedies. I can't imagine how the emotional roller coaster of this series of events in this situation has forever changed everyone involved. It's crazy to think that LaDonna would have still been alive if she was still in prison. She got her freedom at 50 years old, but lost her life shortly after. Terrence's life was cut short at the hands of LaDonna, the woman he loved, 20 years ago. Life sometimes has a crazy way of playing out. Fam, tell me your thoughts on this story. Do you believe LaDonna was a survivor who acted in self-defense? Should she have been granted clemency? Do you believe Terrence's family's testimony describing LaDonna as a manipulative liar who made the choice to end Terrence's life days before she actually did it, and that Terrence wasn't the person LaDonna said he was? Was justice served? Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times. Until next time.